Getting the facts right. You're watching News Channel 12 at 5.
He was a special boy. He was so special.
The tragic death of an Emerald Isle skateboarder brings the community together in remembrance. Good evening, I'm Kelsey Bennett.
And I'm Jasmine Lawrence.
A family and community mourn the loss of a young Emerald Isle skateboarder. The accident took place on Tradewinds Drive in Emerald Isle on Friday evening. The Hughes family says that the hill where the accident happened was a place that Drew had skated many times before. A family is mourning the loss of a young son. Drew Hughes died Saturday after a skateboarding accident. The accident happened at his Emerald Isle home Friday evening.
I didn't think it was life-threatening at all. You know, that didn't even pop into my head that it was life-threatening.
A bond that cannot be broken is brotherhood. Brothers Zach and Brewer Hughes say the relationship they had with Drew was ideal. Their final moments with Drew were full of togetherness, hope, and most importantly, love.
He is a special boy. He was so special. And it's going to be a hole that'll never get filled. Just even after his death, he's done so much to this community. He's brought us all together, and that's the kind of thing he did while he was alive, and that's the thing he continues to do now. Just bring people together.
Friends and family have come here today with a memorial to honor Drew, with things such as skateboards, seashells, flowers, and scripture, in hopes of saying goodbye right where the accident has happened. Having suffered a great loss, the Hughes family remains strong and in great faith. They say the support and love of their community has been overwhelming. Many have come forth, wishing to honor the fun-loving boarder with their own boards, praises, and goodbyes in the form of a memorial. The family says money is also currently being raised to build a more permanent memorial for the young boarder.
A fire in Arizona that has consumed over 8,000 acres has also consumed the lives of 19 firefighters. The Yarnell Hill fire was started by a lightning strike. As the firefighters were in the middle containing the blaze, the fire suddenly switched directions. The firefighters that were trapped by the flames had to resort to a last-ditch effort to escape the fire.
This deadly fire that was started by a lightning strike on Friday has consumed many acres of land and also the lives of 19 firefighters. They were working hard to stop the fire that has been burning for days and has taken the homes and businesses of many people. Fighting the blaze, they had to turn to the last thing a firefighter ever wants to use, a fire shelter.
The fire shelters that we use are a last-ditch effort in saving firefighters' life.
Fire shelters are made to protect firefighters when trapped by flames. Fire shelters reflect radiant heat and they trap in breathable air. Fire shelters are made of aluminum foil and fiberglass. Meadow says all firefighters are required to carry a fire shelter on their back, whether it's a controlled burn or a wildfire. The fire shelter is easy to reach and simple to use.
This here is a practice shelter. Firefighters use this as a last resort. They simply rip it from their pack, open it, and step inside.
Meadow says if a deadly fire broke out in our area, he says we would be prepared to fight the blaze.
Every class that we hold, safety is of utmost importance. Safety for the firefighters, safety for the public, and just our general well-being of the folks of the state.
Let's get straight into a fact check. Fire shelters can take temperatures as high as 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Fire shelters have been around for more than 50 years, and for something that weighs only 4.2 pounds and folds up to be only 4.5 inches, they're quite expensive.
31-year-old Deval Rogers was stabbed multiple times while sitting in his Jeep at River Edge Apartments on Bluff Road in Greenville. According to police, the attack occurred around 9:15 Friday night. News Channel 12's Patrick Green is live in the newsroom.
A man was stabbed in an apartment complex in Greenville. Even though he survives, the suspect still remains at large, and it does not put the rest of the neighbors at ease. The silence of an apartment complex is rocked to the core after a brutal stabbing in Greenville, and it leaves people calling their loved ones. But one visitor says he's not surprised.
I'm used to that. Like I said, I'm from New York, so there's nothing I've never seen or heard before.
but there's one neighbor that's looking for an escape.
My personal opinion is I'm ready to leave here. I've been ready to leave because I don't feel that my kids are safe here. I don't feel that I'm safe.
Despite the aftermath of it all, she has one thing to say to the evildoer that's out there.
That you need to think first before you do anything. Nothing is worth taking someone's life, you know? I mean, the life that you live, it shows by your actions.
That's one lesson we need to know. Still ongoing. Reporting live in the newsroom, Patrick Green, News Channel 12.
The police have no further information on this case at this time.
Well, Kelsey and Jasmine, we definitely have been looking at some heavy rainfall moving across the area as we've gone through the afternoon hours here. Notice Jacksonville about an inch already, about 2/3 of an inch. In New Bern, basically areas along and east of Highway 17 is where the heaviest rainfall has been. Ocracoke, about another half hour, maybe we'll be seeing some of the rainfall in your neighborhood here. Notice how we get more cellular here, though, with these showers and storms working their way in. You got a little differential heating that's starting to take place, a little bit of warm advection at the mid-levels. As a result here, these actions are going to continue to translate to the east. Could be some maybe wet microbursts, bringing down some gustier winds with these storms as they continue to track to the east, and that's exactly what Future Track is showing us here. Again, a 15-20-minute downpour, and then we kind of work their way on through the area here. Here's what we're going with Future Track here. It shows that next band of kind of scattered showers and storms. More pop-up variety action working its way off towards the east. We'll clear things out as we head overnight tonight. That could lead to a little bit of light patchy fog early tomorrow morning. That's something we'll continue to alert you to. Meanwhile, we'll start to watch a little bit of the sea breeze action taking place here on that diurnal boundary that's starting to develop here. Notice clear skies inland, showers and storms starting to develop along that sea breeze front. That's really going to be the only method of getting any kind of showers and storms developing over the next couple days here, as we don't really have any upper level support. No vortexes coming across the area here. Next front comes into the region here with this deep trough moving its way into the area as we head on into Tuesday. Kelsey and Jasmine, it looks like a fairly nice weekend to hit the beach.
Thanks, Les. They're back. It is the time of the year where the itching begins and the bug spray can't stay on the shelves. Summer is the season of the famous insects, mosquitoes, and they are on the attack.
Eastern North Carolina is no stranger to lots of water or mosquitoes. However, large amounts of rainfall in the early summer months have created bodies of still standing water all over, which serve as a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes. Chris Hill, operations manager for Kinston Public Services, gave us the facts on the rise of the pests and how they fall.
It's just the time of the year, you know, the hot weather, lots of rains. We've had a lot of rain this year compared to the past couple of years, so we've seen some really big mosquitoes so far.
Heavy rainfall and flooding are constant when it comes to predicting weather in eastern North Carolina. However, what comes with this flooding and heavy rainfall are mosquitoes. Many are wondering just what measures are being made to control this pesky creature.
This time of year when the mosquitoes become active, we start spraying. We have 2 trucks, usually just one person spraying each morning, and we try to cover the entire city in 1 week. And then we'll repeat the process until September or October, depends on temperatures and rain and weather and those sorts of things.
In addition to these pests being a nuisance to many, they also can carry disease and threaten the health of their human snack bar.
My brother had actually had a disease that's from mosquitoes, malaria, and I, you know, from personal experience, I think it's better to try to stop, you know, that spread of disease, especially such a one that can cause really bad health problems.
With more rain to come in the future of these humid summer days remaining, remember the bug spray and the value of a slap.
The still water that will be present in the remaining summer months means that there will be more mosquitoes to come.
And later we bring you a story about a cat and its unique, cruel death. Many are up in arms about how a cat was killed. The cat was found under a car. However, the car is not what took its life.
And find out what has so many Havelock residents in an uproar as new changes come to their roads. Stay tuned to News Channel 12.
Thanks for staying with News Channel 12. I'm Kelsey Bennett.
And I'm Jasmine Lawrence. A Jacksonville mother has been charged with the drowning of her toddler. News Channel 12's Brianna Huff is live in the studio.
Thank you, Jasmine. 22-month-old Mercedes Reed died at the hands of her mother, 27-year-old Amanda Reed's care, almost 3 years ago. The mother was charged for the same crime. Jacksonville police say the drowning occurred on Forest Grove Avenue around 3 p.m. Reed was arrested on Wednesday and has been charged with involuntary manslaughter, negligent child abuse inflicting serious injury, and contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile.
2 deaths, nearly 3 years apart. Both toddlers, both drownings, both in this woman's care. 27-year-old Amanda Reed is charged for the second time with involuntary manslaughter. The latest incident, the May 11th death of her own child, 20-month-old Mercedes.
There was police outside of the house, and like everyone was pretty much, like some people were standing out in the yards and watching.
Neighbor Amber Rhodes saw the investigation continue at Reed's home on Forest Grove Avenue. Warrants say Mercedes was unattended and drowned in an above-ground swimming pool.
I was pretty much shocked. I never really expected anything like that to happen in this neighborhood.
Reed was sentenced to probation for the October 2010 death of 19-month-old Sadie Gates. Investigators say Reed was babysitting Sadie while she wandered out of the home and fell into a drainage ditch filled with water and drowned.
Investigators say for the incident that occurred about 3 years ago, Reed admitted to smoking marijuana. Now for this particular incident, police wouldn't say what she was doing.
Rhodes says she never saw much of Reed.
All I ever really saw around the house, like I never saw any adults. I just saw the kids playing out in the yard with the kids across the street, and I always thought that was interesting.
Investigator Jason Beatty's message:
please, whatever you do, watch your children. They can't fend for themselves. You have to fend for them.
Beatty says there were 6 children in Reed's home at the time of her child's death, not all of whom were hers. The Department of Social Services is now involved in this open case.
Reed has been sentenced to 3 years of probation. Live in the studio, Brianna Huff, News Channel 12.
You sure do hate to see any child suffer. Thanks for the story, Brianna.
From Grifton, we bring you a story about a cat attacked in an unconventional way. The cat was targeted on McCrae Street and shot through the back with an arrow. The cat sought refuge under a car and was found the following morning. Zyra Savage is getting the facts right.
Samantha Tripp says it started out as a normal morning, but says when she took her dog outside, she noticed it was barking at a cat that was under her car.
I didn't think anything of the cat just because I thought he was scared.
Tripp says what she saw next was not what she expected.
I tried to get the cat out. He wasn't coming out. I look underneath and there is a bow and arrow stuck in his back.
Grifton police say Tuesday morning they were called to McCrae Street to find a cat with an arrow completely through its back. Officers say the cat was still alive but badly injured.
Police say a cat found underneath the car was taken to an animal hospital, but unfortunately due to its injuries, it did not survive. I spoke to a vet technician who says she sees incidents like this happen all the time.
Unfortunately, there's some people that instead of calling the Humane Society or the shelters, take matters into their own hands.
Marie Fachet is a co-founder of the Home at Last Foundation in New Bern. She says she has seen many animals that have become target practice for others.
I've probably taken care of at least 20 cats and 5 dogs that all had bullets of some sort.
Veterinarian Roxanne Taylor says sometimes owners don't even know their own pet has fallen victim until x-rays are taken.
Surprise, surprise, there's buckshot, there's bullets, there's strange metal objects.
Tripp says she will now be keeping a close watch on her 4-legged friend.
Makes me kind of nervous to have my dog out here, you know, wandering around. Who's to say that somebody might shoot my dog with an arrow?
Zyra Savage reporting. Grifton police have teamed up with Pitt Crime Stoppers as they search for the individual who committed this criminal act. As of now, no one has claimed the cat or the crime.
Now here is something you don't hear about every day. An alligator was seen in the small town of Havelock. Eastern North Carolina is not known for having a big population of alligators, but they seem to be popping up more frequently. Patrick Green has the story.
Wow. Not in North Carolina.
Move over, Everglades. Apparently these gators have made their new home here. Oh yes, and they are not shy in making an appearance.
if you look right there where that mud thing is, like I've seen them pop up. That's when I saw this full head.
Seeing an alligator is not all fun and games, though. A local native shares a concern for the children.
A lot of kids that fish over there, so I'm kind of worried about that. So I think if some kid gets attacked or whatever, they'll do something about it.
The next time you see an alligator, what do you say?
I'm not going down there.
The average span is 35 years to 50 years old in the wild. The sizes are 10 to 15 feet, but weighs up to 1,000 pounds. It's recorded as the largest American alligator ever.
Coming up, some of you might have heard of the show My Name is Earl, but have you heard of a dog named Earl? We bring you the facts next.
Stay tuned to News Channel 12.
Welcome back to News Channel 12. I'm Kelsey Bennett.
And I'm Jasmine Lawrence. DOT wants to make changes to Highway 70, but Craven County residents are concerned. On Tuesday night, the DOT held a discussion about Highway 70. The predominant area of the project will consist of a construction bridge that will cross over westbound Highway 70 for drivers to access Slocum Road into Cherry Point. News Channel 12's Zyra Savage is live in the newsroom.
I was on the scene when the controversial meeting took place, and Havelock residents made sure that their voices were heard.
Supposedly, if you do the tippers ran high, and many Havelock residents aren't happy about a potential change to their roadways.
There is no way that if you can tell me it's safe.
On Tuesday afternoon at the Havelock Tourist and Events Center, Havelock residents voiced their concerns to new plans along Highway 70 in Craven County, where North Carolina Department of Transportation representatives were available to have one-on-one discussions on the changes. The new design is based around the congestion of traffic on Slocum Road into MCAS Cherry Point. DOT is proposing a bridge to be built westbound over US 70 for enhanced access for drivers on and off the base. This new addition to the roadway will also bring changes to the surrounding neighborhood entrances of Hickman Hills, Tucker Creek, and McDonald Downs. Some the people do not want.
I just think it's a big waste of money right now, especially these times when everybody's so in debt. This just isn't a good idea.
Slocum Road sees an average of 1,100 vehicles a day. DOT project development engineer Matthew Potter says the project will improve the safety of drivers and passengers on the road.
Ultimately, the whole intersection will operate with less delay than your typical intersection with all the phases at one spot.
Officials say the project will cost an estimated $20.5 million. Potter also says the concern of the public will be taken into consideration as final plans will be announced in the fall, while construction isn't planned to begin until the summer of 2015. Reporting live in the newsroom, Zyra Savage, News Channel 12.
Thanks, Cyrus. Tucker Creek residents will no longer be allowed to turn left or go directly across the highway. Instead, you will have to turn right and make a U-turn.
With this next story, it just goes to prove the dog is man's best friend.
You know, I had a dog once, but he was nothing like this dog.
Well, this dog went from a hero to a house dog, just like that.
Pretty excited. It's good to have him back.
U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Brad O'Keefe, along with his four-legged comrade, Earl, were deployed to Afghanistan. Earl proved to be a hero when he sniffed out a bomb that detonated, leaving some injured, but saving the lives of many.
They're just letting us adopt Earl. No strings attached, no extra expenses.
After a fulfilling career and the effort of the O'Keefes, Earl has found an adoptive family with his friend from the field. However, Earl has also made a lasting impression in Craven County. A story straight out of New York brings us here to the outskirts of Craven County to see just where a dog named Earl originated.
I was sitting in the room, in the living room, and I saw a dog, and they said the dog named Earl on NBC or y'all's station, 14 or 12, or somebody's station. I said, Earl? There's only one dog named Earl I know of, and that's Earl. Let me look at him.
John Weller, trainer and owner of Weller Kennels, said he knew Earl had a purpose and was happy to know that he was safe.
And now I hear it on TV, so the man's got hurt, but he's recovering and Earl's safe.
Kelsey, you had a lot of fun at that kennel.
You know, I really did. I've always been a dog person, so it didn't really feel like work to me.
Oh, I want a dog so bad, but
As
thank
do I.
you for joining News Channel 12.
Thank you. Have a great evening.